ladies and gentlemen. You know, I thought we were done with the snow, but it is flipping snowing. Got an inch accumulating out there already. Thought we were done. I'd show it to you, but I know you don't want to see it because I don't like looking at it either. What we're going to do to get right to this. So I just finished off The Chaos Agent by Mark Greaney. This is the 13th book and in the Grayman series, and frankly it's 13 straight really good books. These are certainly outside my normal genres because I primarily just read science fiction and fantasy. This caught my attention. I'm reiterating from another video, so if you've seen that, please pardon me while I repeat myself. I watched a movie called Day of the Jackal, and I wanted more of it. So this kind of read like it, or at least the first book did in its description. Turns out it wasn't quite like it at all, but it was good enough that I enjoyed it, and I kept up with the series. And this is the latest, brand new one. I just got my sticker on there. So in this, the setup is that one Cortland Gentry and his lady friend Zoya, who herself is a well-trained Russian agent. They are on the run, just trying to relax and get away from things. And kind of reminded me just a smidgen a bit of in Casino Royale when Bond goes off with Vesper. And they're just enjoying each other's company and taking a lot of time off. And well, everybody's after them, so they kind of have to. They wind up, the gist is that there are people being assassinated around the world and being done so quickly, and they all have something to do with each other, and that's that they are AI researchers. And so Cortland and Zoya, trying to basically run from all this, get drawn in. And what follows is some talk of artificial intelligence and dystopia. I'm going to divert just a second here just to sort of pull this idea together from a couple other items. So in one of the MCU movies, The Winter Soldier, you have these helicarriers that, with a rather powerful computer algorithm, they're going to take flight, and they have guns pointing down at the world, and they monitor you and what you like and don't like and what you believe and your political beliefs and so on. So they get a picture of you and decide, we don't like that person, and they can just boom, 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 kill you just like that. And they can do it quickly with large pieces of the population being annihilated right off the bat. Dystopia and control from the sky through artificial intelligence. Now this basic idea came from a much older movie called Blue Thunder, which instead of these giant helicopter aircraft carriers was a helicopter. Had a really cool gun on the front. It could do things like see at night, hear a long way, had telescopic vision. It could whisper as it flew, so you couldn't even hear it. And it illustrates how, it does something very clever, is that it illustrates how simple it can be for people to sort of accept the control. And the way they do this is that the veteran pilot takes the new guy on patrol in a regular helicopter over LA. And among the things they do, these are the good guys. They helped catch a bad guy from the air. They spotted him, cops ran in, all that stuff. They're the good guys. But even the good guys go and invade someone's privacy. There's this woman who used to do yoga in the nude. And they take her over there and they let the new guy see it, and they hightail it out of there. Later on, when they get to play with the advanced helicopter Blue Thunder, now it's not just binoculars. Now they can see further, listen. There's a computer system on board that can track people. And so, for example, there was this fellow on the police force. They're like, I think that's his motorcycle. And sure enough, they're able to somehow triangulate the fact that that is his motorcycle and he's home, and they use the listening device to listen in on him as he, shall we say, fails with his date. And it's recorded, they take it in, and they're taking the helicopter back, and eventually these are the good guys spying on people. And so for some reason, because they're just having fun and they mean no harm, it's okay. But what they find out is this device is going to be used widespread to spy on people from above, and if they don't like you, they'll just shoot you from above. And it's just how easy it is to slip into some kind of acceptable surveillance society. And so that gets hinted at a bit in here. So I think what I'll do is do a spoiler from here on out, and I'll put a tag on everything. So they get drawn in, and one of the things that happens is they go to meet with someone, and while they're there, what we're going to learn is that this artificial intelligence has been created by this billionaire who has all his friends killed. But the AI is doing all the work. It's they don't quite say if it's fully sentient or not. They kind of hint that maybe it is. Even if it isn't, it's a very powerful program learning from itself to get better and better and better. It does make some mistakes for some reason. Cortland and Zoya were targeted at one point, and then somewhere it decided, no, that was a mistake. I need to take them off the list, just because they knew somebody who knew somebody. And so it goes about sending these advanced military weapons off to kill all these people. In some cases, it's actually a person. His name's Lancer, is his code name, and he, unfortunately, not a very nice guy. He'll just kill anybody, and he's sloppy about if there's collateral damage. So he gets the job done, but they'd rather have Cortland doing it, which is one of the meetings that takes place. The guy's trying to get Cortland. Well, during this meeting, drones show up. These sort of dog-like machines show up. They got weapons mounted on them. The drones, some of them have bombs on them, so like they can suicide themselves and kaboom and take you out, just dive in. And so because of the skill of the combatants and the layout of the house and things like that, they do manage to survive the encounter and move on. But it's a difficult battle that takes place, and they have a hard time with it, and it's just, you can obviously be overwhelmed by them once things get more advanced, shall we say. During this, on the billionaire side, this is where there's a character in previous books called Zach Hightower, and Zach gets recruited to be this billionaire's bodyguard. There's a whole security force, but he's the main guy that's going to be with the billionaire all the time. Wherever he goes anywhere, he's going to be the bodyguard. Later on, it is revealed that the reason is because he's not a yes man per se, but he just does what he's told. He's there for the team, and he'll do whatever as long as he's just told to do it. And so they recruited him for that reason, thinking he would just go along with them because this billionaire is trying to essentially make a new world order based off this artificial intelligence that he's created. Most of the books aren't like this at all. This is the most Bond-like villain that there is throughout the books. And this is where between this billionaire and Zach Hightower, they have this little exchange about, well, for example, fire. And he's like, well, what about it? He goes, well, if it's burning down your house, you don't like it. But if you're out in the woods cold, you need fire. And that's why they create these tools so that you have it. It's just a matter of who's going to abuse it or not. Well, the billionaire is the one he's going to abuse it. He's going to try to take over the earth. He's got some deal to upload it to the Chinese, but the idea that it's going to rot them from the inside and take over and just hop from country to country. What he winds up, I think, I can't remember if he knew it or not, but he has this personal assistant named Kimmy. Turns out she was I think he did know. He did know, and he kept her close to the close to the chest, as they say. And so in the end, when they destroy the servers that this AI is on, she captures Zoya And because Zoya is wanted by the Russians, she decides, well, I blew my mission. I'm probably in big trouble when I get back to China, so I think I'll take you to Russia and sell you for whatever prize I can get. And that's where the book ends on, and no, so Cortland's got to go rescue his girlfriend is what's going to be in the 14th book. She's generally not so much a damsel in distress. I don't know how he's going to feel it out when he does the 14th book. I don't know if the 14th book will be the last one. I don't know if they'll just keep going all the way to whatever he wants to go to. Who knows? No real reason to stop, but we'll see what happens, what Mark Greaney wants to do with it. And I think that's about it with that. So 13 good books from Mark Greaney. I picked up The Wager because when you see everyone talking about it and you walk into Barnes & Noble and one of the first tables is nothing but this stacked in all the way to it's just a pile of books of nothing but The Wager. So went ahead and got it, and I'm let's see here, I am on page 42, and this is going to be outstanding fun. Apparently there's going to be a shipwreck and a mutiny. Now I've seen Mutiny on the Bounty movie with Mel Gibson and Anthony Hopkins. I know about that story. So the reason this one sounds a little different is that there's the mutinees and the mutineers, and both sides get to go back at some point and tell their part of the story. And so that's the meat of it that I want to get into and hear about. So when we get started with this, there's actually going to be a fleet that goes, and they're preparing this fleet. It's a big pain in the butt. They're in war with Spain, kind of a no casualties war to start with, because once they declare war, it takes almost a whole year to get all their stuff together to send the ships out to do what they want. In this case, this fleet is after a Spanish ship that is shipping a huge sum of silver, and they want to go get it. This fleet is destined for Cape Horn. Now, these ships, it sounds like it's the flagship. It's they said 140 feet long, and I believe it was 40 feet wide and about 1,000 tons to go around Cape Horn. The Wager, a little bit smaller at 123 feet. It's actually a merchant ship, and they outfit it to be a warship. So if they're around 1,000 tons apiece or so, hundreds of tons up to 1,000 tons, going around Cape Horn. I'll tell you a little story. So there I am in the Navy in the early 90s. The ship I served on, the USS Lake Champlain, went around the Horn. I was not on it at that time. That was the commissioning crew, and I came after. Well, the Lake Champlain is about 567 feet long and 55 feet wide and about 9,200 tons. It did not go by itself. It went with an aircraft carrier. I'm not sure which one. Those are about 1,000 feet long and 100,000 tons. So times the mass of this ship by 100, and that's an aircraft carrier, right? Apparently, the waves are so big and so bad going around the Horn that this 100,000 ton floating building dipped its bow under the water at least once. So you're going around the Horn in these. Ugh, this is 1740s technology. I cannot imagine doing such a thing. I wonder what it is like now with, because there's people that go around the Horn all the time. I wonder how consistently bad it is. I follow a sailing channel. They didn't go around the Horn and went to the bad bucket out, and I don't blame them. So can't wait to see how this goes, especially having at least some kind of maritime experience myself. This is this guy here, David Grann. I didn't really realize it. He wrote The Lost City of Z, which I enjoyed very much. So looking forward to the rest of that. So that's the one I'm reading. I believe, unless I have a big change of heart, that I am going to read Annihilation after that by Jeff Vandermeer. Well, the gist of it is basically that there is a place on the Earth that has some kind of, I don't know if it's reality warping per se, but it's infected some part of the world, and every time expeditions go in it, very bad things happen to them. This has a movie starring Natalie Portman, which I have seen. So what I don't know, and I'm just going in blindly, does this 190 pages cover the entire movie? Because there are 3 books in this series. Or is the whole plot of the movie spread out over 3 books? I don't know what's going to happen there. So I'm going to find out, see what happens. People tend to love this thing, so we'll see what happens there. This is a sequel. Spire Climbers by Rob Hayes. This is a sequel to Titan Hoppers. And this is a space fantasy. They have to, I have a video on it if you want to look at it, but they follow around these large planetoids that they call Titans, and they use them for resources because they're basically lost in deep space. And this is going to be the sequel to that, where apparently they call it Spire Hoppers because on this giant planetoid there are these towers periodically all over its surface that are, so far that they know, the most dangerous places that there are on it, though they have not, from what I understand, penetrated the deeper layers of this planetoid, so they don't quite know what's going on as if you go down under the surface deeper. So this is a young adult series, but I actually like it. It's written pretty well, and there's supposed to be 6 books, so these are the first 2. I am going to introduce some classics into my life. I only ever read, as far as classic books go, Dracula. Frankenstein, just because a whole bunch of people have been reading it on BookTube all of a sudden, and so I went and got mine, this illustrated version here. I'd like to flip through it there. Look at there. The City of the Time. I love it. So I kind of like illustrated books. I don't know why we don't get more of that. And the other one, Moby Dick by Herman Melville. So, you know, this general story and plot line has been with me all my life in various movies. Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan completely uses this. Captain Picard in which one is that? That would be the 7th one, I believe it is, that there's kind of a Moby Dick motive to it. So to finally get the whole deal myself. And you know, I'm almost wondering if I'm going to jump from the wager to this. So we'll see. I'm a mood reader. We'll see what happens. And last but not least, certainly not least, watch this. Ready? It's going to make a sound. I ordered Perdido Street Station by China Miavel, if I pronounce that right. And I just didn't know. This is 867 pages. I honestly thought when I saw this and bought it, and I still saw people talk about it, it was more like this. See there? Oh, it disappears. Oh, it disappears. No. This came in the mail, and I'm like, what is this brick? I didn't order a thing that was a square block. This is a monster, this book. Ugh. This is appears to be something very steampunk-like. So this is not a futuristic-looking, like a space city or something. These would be airships of some kind. So this is a more mechanical, steampunk-driven city. Something to do with, well, I'll just read it. Why not? The metropolis of New Krogazan sprawls at the center of the world. Humans and mutants and arcane races brood in gloom beneath its chimneys, where the river is sluggish and the unnatural affluent and factories and foundries bound into the night. For more than 1,000 years, the Parliament, and 1,000-year city? All right. Parliament and its brutal militia have ruled over the vast economy of workers and artists, spies, soldiers, magicians, junkies, and whores. Now a stranger has arrived with a pocket full of gold and an impossible demand, and inadvertently, clumsily, something unthinkable is released. As the city becomes gripped by an alien terror, the fate of millions lies within a clutch of renegades and outcasts on the run from lawmakers and crime lords alike. The urban nightscape becomes hunting ground. Pardon me. The urban nightscape becomes a hunting ground. Battles rage in the shadows of uncanny architecture, and a reckoning is due at the city's heart under the vast chaotic vaults of Perdido Street Station. Now look. So I've read a few long books like Ted Williams' Otherland. There was only one point in these 800 some page books that was a little soggy. Otherwise, they moved right along pretty good. Patrick Rothfuss, Kingkiller, Name of the Wind, and Wise Man's Fear. Very long books. I read Wise Man's Fear in a day. I said, the hell with the outside world. I had to know, and I read it all day, but I did it in a day. But there have been a few books I've attempted that are monsters like this, and they can be a little tough. The Cryptonomicon, I couldn't do it. It was good, but it was just taking too long to do anything. I wouldn't even call it slog. It was just too much. Maybe one day I'll pick it up again. But so we'll see what happens. I don't mind the length of a book, but I get scared because it's lesser books slog. Ugh, slog, no slog. So we'll see what happens with this beast of a book. It makes a boom. It's heavy. Despite it being smaller than some of these other books, it's heavy as hell. Alright, well that's all. That's all I'm going to talk about today. Got a book tag out if you want to try it. Read your prose. Prose, bitches. Done a short. You can click over shorts and see shorts. Monty Atkins. Prose, bitches. I censored it with an asterisk so it's not offensive. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. I'm going to do the same. Bye-bye.